最果てのストーリー抱いてあてもなくさまよい続けた滲んだ New World It's only just begun 今始まりの It's where tomorrow brings a new day It's time to learn the play this game Ready for it
Welcome into episode 6 of the
Geeks by Night subbed and dubbed anime book club.
One of these days you're going to be able to follow it up like a second after, like not even a second, like right there. Like you know I'm coming to it and you're just going to be like Geeks by Night like right after.
Hey, at least I didn't
go
get
like
all
this.
the way up in the camera and I also had some energy in it.
You did. Yeah.
Improvement.
But that, you know, to keep the trend rolling, I'm going to have to find something wrong every week with how you do it.
Dang it!
You messed up. You looked at me wrong this time.
One of these weeks it's going to be perfect and you're going to be able to say nothing.
Nothing.
Anyways.
Okay, so yeah, this is episode 6. If you have been following along, we're going to be talking about episodes 7 through 9 of Btooom and episodes 4 through 6 of Waka-ko-zake. Well, Josh is going to be talking about it. I missed out on it this week. I'm running a little late. I'm running behind schedule. Stressed out. A lot of stuff going on at work. A lot of stuff going on in my life. Anyways, if you haven't already heard, you should know about this. We are basically everywhere right now. Both podcasts, the Geeks by Night Subbed and Dubbed Anime Book Club and the Geeks by Night Gamescast, are on Twitch, YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Podbean, and it has an RSS feed, so you can find our podcast literally anywhere on the internet. All of those links are going to be in the description of every single post. So every single podcast will have every description or every link to all of those different places, so you can subscribe, you can follow, you can rate, all that stuff on all of those different places. And I'm going to apologize right now for my camera being shaky this episode. I have a little bit different setup this week, and it's not the most stable or sturdy, and so every time I touch my table like I normally do, like, yeah, you can see it just has a lot of rebound. So for those of you who are watching the podcast, you'll notice that. If you're listening to the MP3, then don't even worry about it. It won't be a big deal, bro.
If you notice it, you are special.
You have some powers, and we're gonna have to talk about that. We are also on social media sites, which is Facebook, Tumblr, Twitter, and we have a Patreon. All you got to do is search for Geeks by Night on all those places. You can find us there, and we appreciate any feedback, any comments, or things like that. What is that? What are you doing here with your hands?
I wanted them to make it rain.
Make it rain.
On Patreon.
Oh, on Patreon, yeah. Do you want to be our first patron? You can do that. Go to patreon.com/geeksbynight and you can help support us. If you like what we're doing here or with the Gamescast, help us out.
Or if you feel sorry for us.
Or if you feel sorry for us, we will take your 50 cents. I don't care.
Get money.
Oh, alrighty. And those of you who have been keeping up with the podcast, you'll have noticed that this is Monday and not Saturday like the normal podcast. We got to Saturday, and I messaged Josh about 4 hours ahead of time, and I'm like, Josh, I am still in bed. I have a headache. I feel like crap. I don't feel like podcasting today. And he's like, no worries, bro. We'll do it Monday. I was like, all right. And so here we are on Monday.
And then I went back to sleep.
And then he went back to sleep, and I failed to sleep the rest of the day, even though I was tired. But yeah, so we are here on Monday making up for our Saturday miss, or my Saturday miss. My bad, guys. You can hate me if you want. So, next week on the podcast, we'll be talking about the final 3 episodes of Btooom, which is episodes 10 through 12. Josh can finally see the end. And then we'll be talking about episodes 7 through 9 of Waka-ko-zake, our lovely girl-eating food show. And we haven't decided what to do after next week, so we'll update you then. And again, as a note, Btooom is on Crunchyroll and Hulu, so you can watch them at both places, and we highly recommend you do if you haven't already, if you haven't started watching.
Mm-hmm.
And Waka-ko-zake is available on Crunchyroll, and they're only 2-minute episodes, so you should totally check those out because they're really weird and funny. Shoo!
Shoo!
Okay, so with that said, what else have you been watching other than the required anime? Anything?
A single episode of Gintama. This has been a slow anime week.
Yeah, Last week I watched like 3 episodes of Shikabane Hime, and that's it. And then I started watching Heroes, and I fell down that hole, and I've been watching it nonstop since then. So slow on the anime front.
Our anime watching is it's almost been hurt by having a podcast about watching anime.
Well, that, and we both started really reading books. Like,
Yeah.
we've both been reading a trilogy of books that we both finished last week. And then I've started watching Heroes, and you're still reading, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
But good news on the what I will be watching soon is I will finally be able to watch Sword Art Online 2. So excited, because the last dubbed episode is next Saturday, this coming
Oh my
Saturday.
goodness.
So after that, I will finally be able to watch Sword Art Online 2, and I have been waiting for this moment for 2 years. Like, oh my god, like I am so excited to finally be able to watch it. I remember when we were talking about it like back in December, and you were like, dude, you need to watch it. I'm like, we have like another 8 or 9 or 10 months before I can, man. I'm so sorry. Like, it's finally time. It's finally time.
I'm excited to get to actually talk to you about it.
Yeah, that'll be nice. Might have to watch them all well, no, next Saturday wouldn't be the next episode, so it'd have to be after next Saturday when I finally watch it. Anyways, let's go to the news. What's first on the news, Josh?
Alrighty, first on the news is Tecmo Koei has finally produced some gameplay footage for the PlayStation Attack on Titan games.
And it's
boy.
legit.
Oh my goodness.
Was not expecting that.
No, I really had very little faith for how an Attack on Titan game could even be pulled off.
Me too.
But after watching, it's 8 minutes of gameplay. You can find it on YouTube or Silicon Era, where we found it, and it's beautiful. The art.
Now maybe it ends up still being a disaster because of, maybe quest structure or how the story is shown or something about it, but just the simple gameplay of it, the 3D maneuver gear or whatever, and then the attacking the different parts of the Titans, like chopping off arms and hitting the nape of the neck and stuff like that. Like, I did not expect that to look as smooth as it did. Like, it looked really, really good. And the speeding through town using the 3D maneuver gear, and like everything looked super smooth. Now we don't know obviously how complex the controls are going to be. They may be super technical, but then again they may not. They may be really easy, and they just found a way to work that in, because we did in previous weeks we talked about how they redid the gameplay like 5 or 6 times to get it right. So like maybe it took them that many times to figure out how to make it easy but complicated and stuff. And so it just, we saw it and we're both immediately surprised. Like, wow. Like you sent it to me and you were like, dude, have you seen this video? And I was like, yeah, the one where he's attacking the Titan. And you're like, no, the 8-minute video. And I was like, oh no, I haven't. So I immediately pulled it up and watched it and was just like, damn.
Oh, it's perfect.
But if you're gonna watch it, pro tip here: don't have the volume up, because there's a people talking in the background, like commentating the demo here, and there's one girl there, and she keeps going hi, like every 2 seconds for an 8-minute video. I was like, oh my god! Like, this is just like, I understand saying hi is like yes, like yeah. But when you're having a 8-minute conversation, you don't have somebody saying yeah. Like, if they do that, you punch them in the fucking face. Like, come on. So yeah, it was. Turn the volume down. Watch the video. It's awesome.
All right. After that, what do we got?
This one's really cool. The next 2 are really cool, so I guess. Persona 5, which was recently delayed until 2016, as most people expected, and only the diehard really said that it was coming out this year. It was announced that it's getting a special anime. Let's see. Did you copy any of the information into this?
No.
Oh, well, that's why.
It's very shallow, though.
Oh, okay.
It's pretty much just that there will be an anime special, and there will be more about it later. That's
I
it.
swore it said prequel somewhere, prequel to the game, but I may be wrong. Anyways, most of Persona games have anime based off of them, the different story paths and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a surprise here that Persona 5 is getting an anime. But I don't think this is the traditional anime. I don't think this is going to be the main story. I think this is going to be something side or prequel like to it, because it's, I think, releasing alongside it, the game. But I'm not 100% certain. Obviously, we don't know a whole lot because they said, we'll tell you more later, which they've been saying about Persona 5 for a year.
Yeah.
But along those lines, Josh, another game, what's happening with this?
All right, so one of my all-time favorite games, Gravity Rush, which was exclusive for PlayStation Vita, is now coming to be remastered on PS4, and they're also making a sequel for it on PS4.
Mm-hmm.
But why is this anime news? Well, that's because Gravity Rush is getting an anime special.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, my goodness.
I am so excited.
So I don't know about you, but I think you mispronounced Rush. I think it's pronounced Days? Gravity Days? Gravity Days? Huh? No? Oh, okay. Yeah. Is there any news about if this is following the main story of the game or prequel or what, or anything about it?
I've not read anything other than that there will be some sort of special animation. It's been green-lighted, and that's about as far as they've gotten.
Cool. Yeah, I super excited because I loved Gravity Rush, but at the same time, would I don't know. Some games I think would be better as anime, and some games would be better as games. And in this case, I feel like the story wasn't super deep for the game, and they could go a lot deeper with Kat and why she is who she is and where she is, where she is, and stuff like that in an anime. Like, that would be really, really interesting to see.
The question, I think, is whether it's going to be like an anime series or an anime movie, or just like an anime 37-minute special.
That's true.
And that'll determine.
I would be willing to bet that it's going to be the thing that connects Gravity Rush 1 and Gravity Rush 2. What do you bet they do an in-between like special like movie thing? That would be fucking awesome.
Oh man. As long as Raven's in it.
Yeah.
That's all that matters.
All right, let's move into the book club discussion, which this week the Waka-ko-zake section is going to be dominated by Josh since I didn't get a chance to watch them. What happened in episode 4?
Since there's a 2-minute episode, this domination's going to last a long time.
Yeah, it doesn't have to last very long.
So, episode 4, Sea Urchin Crescent. That's the name. That's what she eats. She walks into an unknown little shop. Someone orders it. She goes, that looks pretty good. She orders it. She tastes it. She likes it. She sips some beer. And the episode ends.
Does she go,
episode 4.
Did she do that?
I'm pretty sure that she did.
I think she does that in every episode.
Yeah.
At least once.
It should be called Waka-ko-zake.
All right, episode 5. What happened there?
Oh man, episode 5, Yakitori. Orders a ton of different things, all on skewers. I believe that's what makes it yakitori. I wouldn't know because never had Japanese food. But she gets embarrassed by how one of the other customers seems to know yakitori etiquette better. And then the episode ends.
Oh. Interesting. All right, episode 6.
Episode 6, Steamed Clams. She remembers her day at work. She had to give a presentation. She did not like doing that. So then she goes to what appears to be a familiar restaurant to her, orders some steamed clams, says, "The broth of bivalves is the taste of comfort." Phew! And then the waitress asks her how work is going, so this is why I think that it's somewhere she goes a lot, because it seems like they know each other.
Mm-hmm.
She says, tiring, and then remarks in her head, talking to her is easy since I've been drinking. Maybe I should drink before my next presentation. Just kidding. And it ends.
The show is so weird. I like it. I like it for how weird it is. Good times. Good times.
That was a very long segment. I think I may have covered almost an entire amount of time worth of an episode of that show.
Probably. All right, so let's move into Btooom. So excited to talk about Btooom. I don't remember a thing that happened because it's been 3 days since I've watched it. But good thing I took copious notes. Okay, do you want to give the recap for this one or the next one?
We'll work together. So to start episode 7, there's a virtual wedding.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
Which is between Sakamoto and Himiko.
Mm-hmm.
But neither of them know that or for sure, neither of them know that they're the same person on the island. If that makes any sense.
It's more like a memory.
Yeah, it's just flashback to that to kind of set you up for what's about to happen. So then what's
about to happen?
Oh.
So, Jinx. Well, as if you remember our last episode, if you listened to it, if you're one of the 6 people, the mercenary guy from way back when jumps out with a knife and attacks Ryota.
Yep.
This is where we pick up.
So you're calling him Ryota now because she does.
What are you saying?
Nothing. He's Sakamoto.
Anyways. Yeah, he makes the mistake of telling the guy, he's like, no, don't hurt me. We can work together, you and us. So he gives away that it's not just himself, he's working with others. And so in the end, the mercenary guy lets him run away to follow him home.
So then, I'm not sure how much I'm going to skip what you've written, but Taira tries to save Sakamoto whenever the mercenary shows up there, and he gets his fingers cut off. So that was awesome. There's just blood squirting out of his hand. It was really tasty looking. And then Sakamoto, like a doofus, falls off of the fort thing that they're on and off a cliff, and everyone thinks he died, but he didn't because he falls into like a tree that's sticking out of the cliff. And he wakes up and he's like, oh my god, like I can't believe I survived that. Like, yeah, me too, you idiot. And then Sakamoto tries to find out where Himiko had been taken because the mercenary apparently took her. And he finds her phone and then finds out that she was the one that he married. Or at least believes that because of pictures on her phone. And so he decides, I must go superhuman and hunt her down and rescue her. And so he does. He goes off into the fucking forest. He leaves Taira behind. Doesn't even give a shit about Taira. Taira's sitting there bleeding. And he's like, I don't have time for you, bro. I've got to go save Himiko. And he just takes off and leaves her. And I was like cracking up at this point. I was like, if I'm Taira, I would hate him. I would hate him so much. So, what happens when he gets to the fort? Or the place?
When he gets to the fort, he lets off a whole bunch of radar pings. She lets off some back to let him know he's there. Mercenary guy is working with the lawyer from the little kid's lawyer because he ran off back when.
That raped the girls and after he murdered them.
Yeah, that little kid.
That was his lawyer.
So they're working together, and they split up to go after Ryota. Dang it. I'll get his name. Sakamoto, anyways. And he goes to where the lawyer is. Lawyer throws a bomb. He disappears. Lawyer almost gets stabbed in the face by the mercenary coming back. And Ryota gets up to the door to where Himiko is, starts to push it open, and lo and behold, a military-style trap that any high schooler would do to prank their teacher.
Yeah.
Bomb falls off the door, and Ryota... This part confuses me because Ryota catches the cracker bomb.
I know how. I can explain that.
Okay, you explain why this does not explode in his face.
Okay, at this point, okay, yeah, the cracker is falling from the door and he somehow catches it and it doesn't explode. So what you're assuming is that it should have exploded because it hit his hand. The reason it didn't which in realistically most likely would have, because he wouldn't be this good. But the explanation that they're assuming that you would assume is that he moved his hand at the same speed that it was falling and slowly got it closer to where by the time it was in his hand, he could just stop his hand from moving, and it wouldn't be like it collided into anything because they were moving at the same velocity. So he basically just... It was almost... The way the cracker reacted was almost if it had just stopped in midair when it was in his hand because of the velocity speed. It's like when you're on a moving train or something and you need to jump over to another train in a movie. It has to be going the same speed. Or if you're going to jump to something else like that's moving, they have to be going to the same speed for you to jump and land in the spot you're trying to. If it's not, you'll completely miss it. You'll overshoot it. It'll go past you or something like that. They have to be moving at the same speed. That's
physics lesson.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm a super scholar nerd there. Anyways, continue. What happens then?
So then he comes up to Himiko, and he's her knight in shining armor.
Yeah, he's pretty badass in that moment.
And he starts asking about, by the way, are you the Himiko that I played a lot of games with? She says no.
Yeah, she's just like, no. And he, like, almost loses it. Really, like, he's like, you mean I just did all of this to save you because we were a girl, or I thought you were this girl, and you really weren't this girl? What the hell was I doing? Oh, it was great. So then they escape the room, and Sakamoto takes out the lawyer. And then the mercenary gets Himiko, and Sakamoto tries to save her. The mercenary overpowers him, and then Himiko gets him with a gas bomb. So, like, he has one person, and then all of a sudden he has the other person, and then Himiko grabs one of her gas bombs, throws it at him, and Sakamoto realizes what it is, and he's like, oh my god, run! And so they take off, and they go up through a hole in the ceiling to get up to the next floor to escape the gas. And as they're doing it, I think, is it him pulling up Himiko?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, so he's pulling up Himiko, and all of a sudden her leg gets grabbed, and lo and behold, the mercenary guy survived the gas beam, but his whole body is just melting off. Like, his skin and everything's falling off. He's like, yeah, you won't escape. And what do they kick him in the face or something, and then he just dies? And
no, Ryota drops a timer.
Oh, yeah. He drops a timer that is set at 3 seconds because that's what he told the lawyer to do earlier. And so as soon as the mercenary leans down to pick up the bim, he's like, oh, I've got 10 seconds. I can throw this. And he's like, oh, fuck. Blows him up. And so during that time, Sakamoto pulls Himiko out and escapes. And then at the very, very end, it cuts back to Tyrannos, Japan. And there are several people, like, screens watching the big screen. They all look like they're business leaders. They all look very nicely dressed and stuff. And it's set up as if they're all watching what's going on like it's a game. Like we kind of assumed earlier on one of the previous episodes, we talked about how that could be what was going on. And they're all watching and all like, oh my god, he survived. He outsmarted the mercenary guy. We didn't expect
like
that.
A movie.
Yeah, and that's how the episode ends. I liked that episode.
I did, but the one question I have is, like, why did they just leave Tyra?
Why did he ditch Tyra?
No, not why did Sakamoto. Why did the mercenary and lawyer?
Probably because he's a fatty and they would rather have a blonde with boobs. That's good point. His green thing.
Yeah. That's the one thing I couldn't quite figure out about that one.
Okay, so here's my rationale for this.
All right.
Okay, so say you're the lawyer and I'm the mercenary, and we are here. We just saw Sakamoto fall off. We think he's dead. We have this hot chick with us. Well, they'd have to assume that Sakamoto was alive for this to work.
Which they did not.
Are you sure? Because, well, No,
Because they're pretty surprised.
they never mind. My rationale falls apart. I have no idea. I was gonna say they were setting a trap because you need to leave Tyra there to tell Sakamoto that they took the
Right.
girl somewhere, and then so that was all a trap to eventually take out Sakamoto and Himiko, and then come back and easily kill Tyra because he's a fatty with his hand cut off. You know, that was where I was gonna go with it, but apparently did not work. So every week we talk about our favorite moment of the week, and we talk about our favorite characters of the week. And whenever we get to the moments, we typically bring it up during that episode. I'm going to go ahead and say my favorite moment of the week this week was the his face falling off and stuff, because that was just disgusting and awesome.
We got a shickie here.
It was
we
cool.
got a shickie.
Well, it's like, I mean, it showed gore in this show already, but that was some gross, hardcore gore there. It was it was interesting. All right, episode 8.
Episode 8.
Episode 8. Starts off with a couple at nighttime, and the guy's out talking like he wants to protect this girl that he's with, and they hear some Komodo dragons or whatever at the side of the cliff or down at the bottom of the cliff. He goes up to the edge of the cliff, and she just fucking pushes him off, and he falls into the Komodo dragons and gets eaten, and then she drops a bomb down there and blows them all up. I was like, oh my god. Awesome. And
Surprised that's not your favorite part.
I know, I immediately regretted it. I was like, damn it, that should have been it. Following that scene, it goes back to Torreno's Japan, where we left off in the last episode, and they're talking about how they can use all of the live audio they've collected from the island, but they didn't mention for what. And they said that they could animate the actions, like what everybody was doing about the island. So you assume that they're making either an anime or some movie or something like that, or maybe a game that they're using all this audio for. And they mentioned that they would animate the killing and stuff to make it easier for audiences. Mm-hmm. So it's just like interesting, finding out a little bit more about why this is happening.
And still so confused.
Yeah. So the scene cuts back to Sakamoto and Himiko, and what happens there?
All right, so they're now in the building where they took out the lawyer and mercenary. It's getting late. They can't really walk back to Tyra in the dark, so it's time to bed down for the night.
Bear down.
Bed down.
Oh, never mind.
All right, so they're sitting there sleeping with the briefcase and Bims between them because, you know, he's not trustworthy at all.
No, he's a guy.
Exactly. He talks about his life, talks about why he was willing to risk his life to come save her, thinking she was Himiko and all that. She starts crying. It's like, I can't feel this way about him.
She realizes, she fully understands now that he's the Sakamoto that she knew from the game, and she's holding her mouth shut, and she's like, I can't tell him. You know, I can't feel this way about somebody in real life. And it was a touching moment to see her crying, because you didn't expect she was crying, because the camera kind of like goes up her, and then when it gets to her face, you just see tears, and it's like, holy shit, she's breaking down. Like, damn. But yeah. So then they fall asleep. What happens then?
Having a dream. All of a sudden in the dream, bright light flashes in her face, opens her eyes, there's still a bright light, and the face of a scary ghost lady above her.
Freaks her the fuck out.
Like it would any of us.
Yeah.
So then...
Okay, I was going to say, go on.
So then they go looking around, like, where could this person be?
Who was the ghost lady?
Hit the radar like 60 times, nothing pops up. Look around the whole building, because if the radar's not pinging, they must be standing still, right? Looks around the whole building, nobody's there.
First of all, you just murdered 2 people in this building. Why did you decide to stay there? That's just disgusting. There's a guy melting on one floor. Like, it's just... I was like, why are you still in the same fort? That's just gross and creepy, and there could be more people, or just...
It was dark.
And there was a lot of noises from all the bombs going off, so people in the area could know. Like, I was just like, ugh, I wouldn't stay there. But anyways, so eventually, Sakamoto stumbles into the person because he finds a room that's lit up with a candle, and there's all kinds of stuff in there, and he's like, oh, somebody's been here recently. Turns around, and there's a fucking girl there. She's crazy looking. She's missing half of her arm. She's like got wild hair, wild eyes and stuff, and she starts fucking attacking him, and they fight, and Sakamoto eventually overpowers her, and then finds out that she doesn't have a chip because she's missing that part of her arm. So the arm that has the chip in is gone, or at least half of it is. She has a stub there, or nub, or whatever. And then she's like, Himiko comes in. The girl freaks out on him because he's a guy. And so Himiko is able to talk to her because she's a girl and she trusts girls. And she tells Himiko about her past, about how she was a nurse at a hospital, and about how she fixed this doctor's mistakes, like made it look like he wasn't doing bad things when he did do bad things. And so then the doctor fucking turns her in, gets her in trouble, even though it was him that was doing the really bad things. And then so they ended up, the doctor and the nurse both got sent to the island. They worked together for a while. And then the doctor betrayed her because you're supposed to get, was it 8 or 7?
It's 7 other than yours.
7 other than yours. Okay, so once they got 6 working together as a team, he betrayed her, tried to kill her to get hers as his 7th, and that's when her arm gets blown off and he gets it, and he escapes the island. He's the winner of the previous game, which happened 6 months prior to this game or something like that.
Yep.
And so that's why she doesn't trust men, because the doctor betrayed her. And so she was left on the island. Everybody thought she was dead because she lost her green gem. And then it goes to the credits. And then after the credits, you find out that the doctor is back on the island. Lucky motherfucker didn't escape it twice. It's like, he's back. He's coming for more. And he's like, why am I back here again? And then it's over.
But where was he?
Well,
when we saw him.
When we saw him, he was on a cliff when we saw him, right?
Mm-mm.
The next episode, he's in the building. No.
He's there.
He's next to Tyra. That's where he is, which is not the same building.
Tyra.
He was over
He's
by
not
Tyra.
good.
Yeah. But anyways, so that was an interesting episode. I don't know. The sleeping part was funny, that she still didn't trust him. Eventually, during that talk with the lady, she kind of has this moment of, or maybe it's in the next one, she has this moment with the Himiko does with the lady about how out of everybody on the island, the only one she could trust is Sakamoto, but she can't really explain it. She's like, he saved me so many times and stuff like that, and a lot of it has to do with how she knew him in real life, kind of, through the game and stuff like that. But she's like, I know he's a guy, I can't trust guys, but I can trust him, I think. I don't know. And eventually the crazy lady is like, whatever. Sorry. I started reading the next episodes, and it looked like some of this happens on the next episode, and I'm like, wait, I don't know. Whatevers. But the crazy lady eventually ends up trusting Sakamoto because Himiko does. Yeah. Were either of your favorite moment or people in this episode?
Nope.
I'm gonna go with
the last one.
My favorite character of the week was Crazy Lady, the White Ghost or whatever her nickname was.
Why Crazy Lady?
She was crazy as fuck and tried to fight Sakamoto and has a stub for an arm. Like, she survived the betrayal from the previous game and everything, and somehow has been lasting months on this island by herself. I'm not surprised she's crazy. So let's move on to episode 9.
Episode 9. So the doc is there. He's with Tyra.
Yeah,
he got his hand all patched up because, he's a doctor. He does that kind of stuff. And in walk in Sakamoto and Himiko. They distrust him for about 12 seconds. The doctor goes, I wouldn't play the game. And Sakamoto goes, oh, okay. By the way, we have 3 of these tokens already. We're going to share all our information and resources with you. I trust you immediately.
Really, really stupid.
Yeah.
I don't know why he just jumped to that conclusion that they could trust him.
And unfortunately, apparently, Crazy Lady didn't tell them the name of the doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if she'd have just said Date was the name of the doctor, they could have killed him instantly, and everything would have been okay.
They would have at least known or had suspicion that it was the same Dante, but they didn't. The only connection that they knew was that Himiko knew that he was a doctor. That's it. Because Sakamoto didn't know that. Sakamoto wasn't there for the story. He was supposed to be outside.
That's true.
Because he was a boy and he couldn't be around her because it would drive her crazy. So, go on.
So from there, they see that there is a new drop of food and stuff. So they're like, hey, let's all go get it. And of course, Tyra's like, dang it, guys, stop leaving me behind. They're like, man, we're going to bring you some food. You stay there, sleep, whatever. We'll be back. So they go off to get the food. Date, Himiko, and Sakamoto. And ping, 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 6 people are going after this food. After they keep running towards it, 2 of them veer off, 2 of them sit and wait, and 2 of them are going right for it. So Sakamoto's like, alright, we'll just show them that we're determined, then they'll all give up and go away. So he runs, jumps out of the forest, reaches out towards the briefcase, and who else is doing the same thing? Sunglasses Dude.
I love how that's our nickname for him. I called him Sunglasses Guy. You call him Sunglasses Dude. They both leap for the briefcase, and they both miss. Because it's like attached to a parachute, and there's a wind gust, and so like right as they're about to reach it, the wind kind of pulls it away from them or something. So it's like, oh well. At the same time that's going on, Himiko gets attacked by crazy bitch who killed her boyfriend or whatever you would assume at the very beginning of the last episode. She comes in and she's psycho and she attacks attacks Himiko. And so this episode goes a lot of back and forth between what's going on with Himiko and that crazy bitch and what's going on with Sakamoto. Is it Date? I thought it was Dante, but I may be wrong.
I think it's Date. It might be Dante in English. Could be.
Maybe. I don't know. Him, the doctor. I'll call him the doctor. No, that's too cool. Doctor Who.
Doc.
The Doc. We'll call him Doc. We'll call him Doc. There we go. So Sakamoto and Doc, as they're attempting to outwit Sunglasses Dude, and it's quite a good fight. They're both trying to race for the suitcase. And eventually the fight turns into the Psycho Kid and his new buddy who he met also attacking them, but they're up on a cliff and they throw this like firebomb down there which traps Sakamoto with the briefcase. And so he's trapped in these like walls of fire, and here comes Sunglasses Dude, like full on sprinting right at the fire. You're like, what the fuck is he gonna do? He runs right through the fire, grabs the suitcase, jumps through the other end of the fire, and dives into the water. And as he's falling into the water, you can tell that his clothes are on fire. And he just hits the water and gets rid of the fire. You're just like, holy shit, that was badass. Like, that was so. Is that your favorite moment?
Yes.
I knew it! After I described
Sunglasses Dude.
Yeah, after I described it, I knew that was it. You want to talk about it a little bit?
I mean, there's not a lot more to go over on that specific point, but it keeps going and it gets better.
Yes, it does. Where does it go from there?
So from there, Ryota realizes that he can do the same thing, so he runs through the fire, jumps into the water, and they both have to swim up towards this beach a little bit further down. When Ryota gets up to the beach, he's looking out. He's like, where is he? He must be here somewhere. And he sees the briefcase just sitting way out there, no one around it. And all of a sudden, the guy with that had like the flame bims comes out. And he's like, oh, there's no one here. I can take the briefcase. And he goes up to it. Boom, explosion. Another trap like way back when.
Like
that
episode
he set.
2 or 3.
Yeah. And so we're back to setting traps and stuff. And after that guy gets blown up, Oda, which is apparently the name of the sunglasses guy, he comes up, picks up the briefcase, like, yeah, I got him. Starts to walk away, and Ryota pops up with a cracker and says, don't move. And for a second, Oda's eyes go like, oh, I'm done. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. I'm dead. And then Ryota goes on to be like, put down the briefcase and walk away. And he's like, oh, this guy's stupid. I can take him. So sunglasses guy goes back to, I got this. So he walks away from the briefcase. And then Ryota starts overthinking everything. He's like, why is he so calm about this? There must be bombs over there. But wait, he would have to be controlling it from over there. Show me your hands. And so the guy shows him his hands, nothing in them. And he goes, oh, I'm overthinking this. Everything's okay. I can just go take the briefcase. He walks up to the briefcase, switches back to showing Oda. He's got the stupid thing to set off the bombs in his mouth. I don't know how, but he does. Presses a button, explosion, credits.
Yeah, and that skips one of the scenes prior to that, though, is that it goes back to Himiko, and she's wrestling with the crazy bitch, and the Doc, shows up there, and he's like, oh, I can take them both out at the same time. And so he throws one of his bombs over there, trying to take them out. They both end up surviving it, I believe. Does the crazy bitch survive too?
Yeah.
Okay. They both end up surviving it, and Doc thinks that he killed them both, and so he's walking through there, and he notices Himiko, like, standing up, and he's just like, thank God I saved you, like, oh, man, I'm so glad you're alive, and she's like, he did not just try to save me. He tried to fucking kill me and her at the same time. I cannot trust him, but I cannot say it out loud. And so she plays coy. She's like, yeah, you saved me. It was really, really funny. Let's see. Yeah, and so it doesn't actually end with the bombs exploding. It ends with Sakamoto surviving. Again.
How?
I don't know how this always happens,
How?
but Sakamoto survives every freaking bomb. I don't know. He was like literally standing on top of it when it blew up, or at least that's what we're led to believe. There could have been a time lapse when it happened. He could have immediately jumped away from it or something like that, or he could have faked picking it up just to trigger the guy to blow up the bombs or something. But he somehow survives, and we'll find out next week.
Better be a good explanation.
Dragon Ball Z. No.
Wait, are we watching that?
No. So, biggest takeaways this week, Josh. You had one.
So there was an awkward moment way back in, I think, episode 7, where they show Sakamoto's life, and it kind of looks like he abuses his stepdad, because it shows a picture where he's standing in a room, his mom's on the couch, like, with her head in her hands, and his stepdad is on the floor. Tables are turned over, and that was really weird.
I don't really remember that. For some reason, I remember something a little different. I think his yeah, it is his stepdad. I think his stepdad's like trying to be a good dad or whatever, and I don't know. That's really fuzzy. This is part of where waiting 3 days to do this episode is a little bit harder, because that was one of the really quick minor scenes that you don't really get a whole lot of context from. But yeah, maybe. Does he beat his dad? That's weird.
Yeah, I know it's weird, but it kind of really looked like it.
Verbally, you would expect because he verbally abuses his mom too. But I don't know. Strange, very strange. Very strange. So, other than that, you had some rage here. Oh, yeah. Okay, so your rage we basically already talked about. Why didn't the mercenary kill or take Tyra, and how the hell did Ryota survive that again? Yeah.
Oh, man.
Those are some inconsistencies with the show that we've found so far. Just not a whole lot of inconsistencies yet, but those are two of them for sure.
Yeah.
Your favorite moment of the week we talked about. We talked about mine. Your favorite character. Why was your favorite character Oda?
Because he's the best.
Because
Like, oh my
he's the
gosh.
best.
Everything he does so awesome. Because one thing that you didn't quite mention was when he jumps through the flames, he drop kicks Ryota in the face, then takes the briefcase.
That's how he gets it. Yeah.
Everything about him is awesome. Oh my goodness.
It is pretty much the coolest. Let's see. Anything else you want to mention about this week's episodes? Nope.
You?
All right. Let's move on from our book club. Next week we'll be talking about the final 3 episodes of Btooom, and we'll finally wrap it up. See how it ends. The climax.
The excitement.
Speaking of climaxes, let's talk about our threesome. Oh, the Zynga!
The transition.
Wait, let's go ahead and insert the transition here. All right, I did the threesome transition there. So we weren't able to hear it here, but you'll be able to hear it if you're listening later to the MP3 and stuff like that, and see it on YouTube. Okay, so what is our threesome this week, Josh?
Our threesome is 3 anime destinations to put on your bucket list. And this couldn't be just like, I want to go to the world of Naruto. It would have to be more like, I want to go to Konoha and see the sights.
The leaf hidden in the leaves. The leaf, the village hidden in the leaves. The leaf hidden in the leaves. You think it's hard to find a needle in a haystack? Try finding a leaf in a pile of leaves. Okay.
Oh, dude.
So Josh went all out here, and he made it like a travel brochure. So mine are not that thought out. Again, I was a little rushed this week. Literally came up with this like 2 minutes before we went live. I got my 3 here. We'll go back and forth 3, 2, 1 again, like we have been, because that's fun. So since yours is the cooler ones, we'll have you go second each time, so you could be the last one to go.
Alrighty.
My number 3 is Death Weapon Meister Academy from Soul Eater. That would be an awesome place to go. I'd love to go see all the Meisters and the weapons, and oh, that would be so cool. I love that place. I love that show. So funny, so good, and I'd love to meet Death. I mean, not saying soon, but eventually. Hi, Death. That's my number 3. Now you're number 3.
My number 3, Bantora Library from the Book of Bantora. Alrighty, all you bookworms out there, heaven has been discovered. Bantora Library is filled with books containing the souls of the deceased. Each book contains the stories of lives and all the moments that define some of the greatest and lowliest people ever to walk this earth. A truly endless supply of reading material. Heaven, is it not?
All right, that works for me. That's kind of like, have you seen Eureka 7?
I have not.
There's a library kind of like that in that too. My number 2. Oh, this is the one I hadn't decided on yet. It's the one that was there's 2 choices for this.
Girl, make it.
Okay, here we go. Risen Bowl from Full Metal Alchemist. It's the town that Ed and Al are from. Because I think it would be cool to go there because 1, Winry lives there. 2, Winry's grandma lives there, and she's awesome. And 3, it's where Ed and Al are from. Like, who wouldn't want to visit that place? Ed and Al grew up there. It'd be cool to see all the different places and their burned down house and stuff. Spoilers! For like 5 episodes into the show or whatever. It's not even that. It may be like 2. But yeah, I tried to pick some really cool places and really cool shows. So that's one. Yeah, you're going to be really surprised by my number 1. What's your number 2?
I'm excited. Mabase from FLCO.
I almost
looking
picked
for
that.
a relaxing vacation to just sit back and relax. I did say relax twice there. What better place than Mabase? Nothing amazing happens here. Warning, we are not responsible for any injuries incurred from being smacked in the head with a guitar.
Or any unexplainable robots that come out of the said wound on the head. Nice, I like it. That's a good one. My number 1, and this is actually the first one that came to mind whenever you brought this question up, and I was like, it has to be my number 1 because it has been my number 1 for 16, 17 years or so, something like that. And it's Digital City from Digimon. That, like, Digimon was my shit growing up, dude. Like, I loved it so much. Loved the anime. I played the games too, and I love the games. But Pokemon was like my game. Digimon was my show. And, like, so everything about that universe, like, it's in the computer, it's online, it's all that stuff. There's Digimon, there and stuff like that. It was like that would all like that's bar none. That's got to be my favorite. That's tops. Yep. Digital City.
All right, number 1, Einkrad Floor 22. Want to enjoy nature without actually being in nature? If you're nodding your head yes, then the virtual world of Einkrad's 22nd floor is the place for you. With plenty of exploring in the woods, fishing in the lake, or 16.5ing in the cabins, what more could you possibly ask for?
I like what you did there. Was that the floor that they relaxed on? That they got a house?
Yep.
Okay, that's what I thought. Yeah, that's a good one. I remember when I was trying to think of my 3 earlier, and I was like, no, I don't think that one can be one. It was going to be just Einkrad, and
yeah, that would have been cheating.
And yeah, exactly. I was like, well, we've already decided that you can't just pick something like that. So balls, man, balls. So yeah, those are pretty good. I liked your choices. I liked your descriptions there.
Thank you.
Well done this week, as always. Last week's was pretty cool too, the sports team one. I liked how we played that one up. This week was, if I had a little bit more time and I'd actually been thinking about this, I probably could have been a little bit more creative. Sorry about that, guys.
Little.
Not a very creative guy. But I also didn't have a moment of the week or character of the week, and I came up with those as spur of the moment, so that was cool. I did good, I think. Bravo, Courtney. Thanks, Courtney. So that wraps up episode 6 of the Geeks by Night
subbed and dubbed anime book club.
Yeah, we will be back with episode 7 next week, where we're going to talk about Btooom episodes 10 through 12 and Waka-ko-zake episodes 7 through 9. I was like 6 through 9. Nope, that's not right. 7 through 9. So
I'm not the only one who makes that mistake.
hopefully you will tune in next Saturday and watch us at twitch.tv/Geeks by Night, where we will hopefully go live between 2 and 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. And then if you have any suggestions for us, or any comments, or any questions you want us to read off on the podcast about anime, or about our personal lives, or our credit card numbers, you can email us at contact@geeksbynight.com, and find us on Twitter @NightlyGeeks, and on Facebook at facebook.com/geeksbynight. We are both also on Twitter. I am at Osborne_2009, which you can see below here. Josh is
at got_it_made43.
I guess for those listening to the MP3 are like, here? Where are they talking about? It's on the screen. It's on the video for those of you watching the video version. So, yes. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll talk to you again next week. Hi.
その嫉妬を塗りつぶすために整理してきた未来